Hello! I wanted to talk today about helping our children to regulate their emotions, and I am very, very passionate about the topic of childhood development and parenting, and I am learning so much more than ever before. My name is Lisa Coleman. I'm an early childhood educator. I run a family daycare business. I have also had experience working in a large centre-based childcare setting, and I have 4 children who some are grown and moved out, and I homeschooled them, and I got to see their behaviors every day, and I got to experiment and observe and practice different ways of dealing with their emotions. And I'm also studying to become a licensed counselor and therapist so that I can hopefully extend my support further than childcare into the area of family therapy and helping parents to learn new skills to have more fulfilling and peaceful and easy relationships with their children. So the reason I'm talking about regulating our children's emotions is because I know that a lot of parents out there struggle with this. It's like the biggest thing that most of us struggle with when it comes to parenting is dealing with our child's emotions. And it's going to be helpful to understand that at a certain age, up until a certain age, children are actually not able to regulate their own emotions. It's actually not a mechanism that is hardwired into them until they are a little bit older. So the pathways that form in their brain to understand emotions and connection and how to have relationships, it all comes from the care that is given to them by their primary caregivers. So in order to teach a child and help a child to regulate their emotions, they need to have a felt experience of having their emotions regulated by their primary caregiver. So this means that when they are little and they are experiencing intense emotion, rather than expecting them to come into a place of calm and ease and trust and safety themselves, we have to provide this to them. And it can be extremely difficult. And I'll tell you why it's extremely difficult. Because if we are honest with ourselves, and not all of us, but many of us, if we can think back to our own childhoods, if we can remember that far back, we were likely not taught how to regulate our emotions. So we likely got into trouble for being loud and having an opinion and talking back and having boundaries and crying and fighting and yelling. So if this was the case, then we do not actually know how to regulate another person's emotions. So this is why there's a lot of adults out there, and I speak for myself as well, because I am somebody that up until recently could not successfully regulate my own emotions. So I did spend many, many years as an adult and raising children not knowing how to control my anger, not knowing how to find safety in my emotions when I was crying a lot, and I didn't know who to turn to or what to do. And I thought that I had to do this myself. And I realized it wasn't until I realized that as adults, we also need to turn to other people to help us regulate our emotions as well. It works both ways. So not only do we need to accept and rely on loved ones to support us and to be able to share our deep emotions with them and let them soothe us and comfort us, we also need to go within as deeply as we can and recognize the child in us that needed this regulating from our caregivers and be that parent. So I fully believe in reparenting ourselves. Now, the reason why we need to learn how to reparent ourselves and to self-soothe ourselves and to regulate our own emotions is so that we can do this for our children. And to do this for our children is going to look like soothing them when they are crying rather than running away and avoiding it or telling them to stop. And now I don't mean every single time, because I'm not perfect. And both in a childcare setting and with my own children, sometimes I still get quite overwhelmed and I just want them to stop screaming or yelling and crying, and I might not have the 100% empathy and sensitivity in that moment, and that's okay. I might walk away and for a little bit, or I might just be a little cranky, and that's okay. We are not expected to be perfect, but children do need the help of the adults around them to feel soothed and feel at ease and feel safe. They don't know how to give this to themselves. They absolutely rely on us as parents and caregivers to do this for them. This also means that when they are having a meltdown and they're screaming and they're wanting to be violent and hit and scratch, rather than yell at them and tell them they shouldn't do this and send them to their room, we need to stay present to these intense emotions. We need to not abandon them in their experience. We need to show them that we are there holding space for these intense feelings. And as I said, this is going to be easier if we have worked on our own intense emotions and we have learnt to find acceptance and care and love for our own emotions. And we can do this through working with a counsellor or a therapist or a life coach, or even a friend or family member. The main thing is having somebody hear our feelings and not judge us and not leave us, to be there and love us through it anyway. This is what children need. They need to be loved anyway through their feelings. And this is how they come into regulation with their emotions. This is how they stop crying. This is how they move from a phase of anger into calm and acceptance, is through our loving presence and holding space. Sometimes we don't even need to say any words. We just need to be there. We just need to look at them and mirror back to them their feelings. So I will do another video specifically on mirroring, which is a reflective practice. It's very important in early childhood. But for now, in simple terms, it is showing that child who they are in the moment and validating their reality, showing them that what they're feeling and going through is valid and real, and that we are there to hold them and support them through it. And this is the quickest way to not only calm down a child's nervous system in the moment, because when they're going through these intense feelings, their nervous system is heightened and they feel anxious and they're looking for a way to feel safe. So they're looking to bigger, stronger, wiser people that can do that. And so this is going to really help children to not only calm down in the moment, but to actually reduce the severity and the number of meltdowns that they have in their day-to-day life. So the first step is acknowledging that what our child is feeling is normal, is healthy, is okay. We don't want to make it wrong. We want to be with them and let them know that what they feel is okay, that we understand and we are there for them. And this is how they learn to self-regulate and feel calm, by being calmed down by us and being soothed by us and being regulated by us. It is our job as parents and caregivers to be the regulating body for these young children until they are old enough to do it themselves. I hope this video has been helpful. Let me know in the comments or ask me a question and I will make another video in response. I really love talking about this stuff and I look forward to sharing more. Love to all. Bye.